Hei alle mine søte lille norske studenter. Hi all my sweet little Norwegian students. Who's excited for lesson number 3? I'm so excited to see that there is still so much interest in my lessons, and I love reading all of your comments, and there have been some really good questions which I shall address shortly. And I would also like to say, for all of you idiots who plan to leave a comment of like, oh my god, Norwegian is so stupid, why does anybody want to learn that? Feel free to move on. Nobody's forcing you to watch my video. Goodbye. There have been some really good questions that I will address now. There have been some speak about this whole Nynorsk versus Bokmål thing, the two types of Norwegian, if you will. And some people are saying it's just a written thing, and others are saying no, it is spoken as well. And I'm going to be honest, I'm really not sure. I know that there's two different types of Norwegian, although my question is, if it's only a written form and not a spoken form, then why is there a theater in Oslo, which is called the Norske Teatret, which supposedly only performs things in Nynorsk? Then you must be able to speak Nynorsk, right? I think so. A lot of people are wondering about dual citizenship and how to be a dual citizen. It's really not that easy to get a Norwegian passport. However, if one of your parents is Norwegian and has a Norwegian passport, then I'm almost positive that you can still apply for a Norwegian passport until you are 21. So if you're under 21 and your parents, one of your parents or both of your parents especially, are Norwegian, then I'm pretty sure you can still get one. Otherwise, if you want to move to Norway, you're allowed to come here for 3 months on a tourist visa, and then if you find a job within that time, or even if you're not here and you get offered a job, then you can apply for residency. I would recommend everybody to do so because Norway is fabulous. People were wondering about the difference between du and deg. Now, the difference between du and deg is just like the difference between I and me, or the difference between he and him, or she and her. Basically, one is the subject of a sentence, one is what does something, and the other is the direct object, what something is done to. So, I give something, but something is given to me. Just like du gives something, but something is given to deg. So in Norwegian we have jeg and meg, is I and me. We have du and deg, which is clearly the one that was confusing because in English you just have you and you. However, in Norwegian, instead of having he and him, we just have han and han. So confusing there too, I guess. Though we have hun and henne, she and her. Then we have vi and oss, is we and us. Then we just have the same dere or dere is the plural, you, y'all, it's the same. And then we have de and de is also the same for they and them. Somebody was also wondering about using I instead of an or et, which is, I'm going to be honest, I really don't know anything about Nynorsk, so it could be Nynorsk or it's just another dialect, but it's not what they say in Oslo. In Oslo, they never say I. And the same thing about æ instead of jeg. That's what they say in northern Norway. Nynorsk, as they call it, they would say æ instead of jeg. But what I'm teaching is what they speak in Oslo. And in Oslo, we say jeg. So people have also been asking me about ending a word in a instead of n. Like, for example, to say the book, saying boka instead of boken. And you can do that too, though it's a less formal way to say it. I prefer to say boken. It's the proper way to speak, and I think there's nothing wrong with being proper, though, I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with saying boka instead, or broa, the bridge, instead for broen. Happens all the time. And like I said before, Norwegian is a language that has so many different dialects, so in certain other dialects, they say boka or broa all the time. But in Oslo, at least on the west side of Oslo, where we proper folk live, I'm just kidding, please don't give me lots of comments about people that don't live on the west side of Oslo, but here we say boken, which is the proper way to say it. Now, Norwegians are real sticklers for pronunciation. I think much more so than people who speak other languages. I can't tell you why. We just really like for people to say it exactly correct. And so I will teach you now the difference between long vowels and short vowels in Norwegian. Often completely change the meaning of the word if you're not using the correct either long or short vowel. Now, I will give you some examples of this. First we have, for instance, the word hat, which means hate. Now, when there is a single consonant after the vowel, then it's a long vowel, which means that it is said as the letter is pronounced. So the letter A, the letter A, Norwegian A, is pronounced A, so you have hat. However, if you have a double consonant, then it's a short vowel, so it would be pronounced hatt if there were two T's, which means hat. So you have hat versus hatt. Then you have bok, which is book, versus book, which means to bow. You also have tak, which means roof, or you have takk, which means thank you. Then you have gul, which is yellow, the color yellow, versus gull, which is gold. Or you can have ditt, which means shit, in the sense that of a verb, å drite is to shit. Or you can have dritt, which means shit in the noun sense. You also have fugl, which is a bird, or you have full, which means full. And fun side note here, in Norwegian, full can also mean drunk. If you say jeg er full, you mean I am drunk. If you want to say you are full of food, you would say jeg er mett. However, full can also be used if you want to say like the cup is full, koppen er full, then you can use it like that. However, if you're speaking about a person and you're saying that that person is full, you mean that they are drunk. If you want to say that you're full of food, you have to use the word mett, which again has two T's. If it were to have one T, it would be met, but it's not, it's met with two T's. So just to go over the long and short vowels so you guys can hear the difference a few more times, you have hat, hatt, bok, bok, tak, takk, gul, gull, drit, dritt, fugl, full. So I hope you hear the difference, and I hope you will practice those because it's very important. It's almost always that way. There are tons and tons of more examples of it, and as you heard, they're completely different words, whether you use the long vowel or the short one. So next up, we have days of the week, which shouldn't be too hard to learn. They all end in dag, which means day, just like in English they do. So starting with Monday, we have mandag, tirsdag, onsdag, torsdag, fredag, lørdag, søndag. And I will also throw in the months for you. So, beginning with January, of course, we have januar, februar, mars, april, mai, juni, juli, august, september, oktober, november, December, especially the ones at the end, very similar to English. So another thing that I want to add to this lesson is how to tell time in Norwegian. It might be a little early, I guess, it's only lesson number 3, but I think that how they tell time in Norway is just so silly that I want to share it with all of you. So I guess I'll start by teaching you how to say, what time is it? In Norway you say, hvor mye er klokken? How much is the clock? Or you can say, hva er klokken? Or klokka, for those who want to say that, hva er klokka, which is what is the clock. I think hvor mye is the more correct thing to say, but people say hva er klokka all the time. And your response would be, klokken er ett, if it's 1 o'clock, klokken er 12, klokken er 4, if it's, you know, a whole hour. Or you can say, klokken er 5:12, 5 after 12. Excuse me for just a moment. Hello? Sorry about that. Where were we? So, telling time. You can say klokken er 12, klokken er 1, klokken er 2, and so on. Or if it's 5 after, you can say klokken 5:12. If it's 10 after, you would say klokken 10:12. Over is over, or past, I guess, in terms of telling time. 10 past 5, 10:02. That was completely wrong. 10 past 5 would be 10:05. Excuse me. And if it's a quarter past the hour, you can say kvart over whatever. Kvart over 2, kvart over 3, kvart over 4, and so on. And if it's quarter to the hour, you say kvart på. And then, however, things get a little weird. So if I wanted to say that it is 5:30, in Norwegian I would have to say that it is 5:30. So I would say klokken 5:30, which means 5:30. And now, ready? Are you ready for this? If it's, let's say it's 5:20, in Norwegian I would have to say it's 10 to 5:30. I know, right? So you would say klokken 10:30. Same thing if it's, 4:25. You would say klokken 5:30. 5 to 5:30. Same thing if it's, 5 after half or 10 after half. Let's say it's 7:40. Then you would have to say klokken 8:10. It's 10 past half 8 equals 7:40. Extremely unnecessarily complicated. I hope you gathered that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. In Norway, they also sometimes use military time, which for those of you who don't know, means that instead of going back to 1, when you get to 1 p.m., it becomes 13, and 2 p.m. is 14, 3 p.m. is 15, and so on, all the way until you get back to midnight, which is 00 hours, or whatever you'd say in the military. It's not quite so common spoken. Usually when you're speaking to someone, you would tell time the way that I just taught you, and in that case, you don't use military time, so you refer to 5 p.m. as 5 rather than 17, but often Norwegians do it when it's written in order to avoid confusion. So if someone's writing you the time and they say, meet me at 17:20, they mean 5:20 p.m. or 5:30. Now, I hope this lesson isn't getting too long, but I also had a request for the Norwegian birthday song, so I wanted to throw that in there as well. It's a fun song, and actually, I never really knew it when I was here when I was young, and so I always felt really awkward in birthday parties and things when people would sing it. But through the years, I have sort of kind of learned it. I'm cheating now, I admit I have the words in front of me. Hurra for deg som fyller ditt år, ja deg vil vi gratulere. Alle i ring omkring der vi står og ser når vi vil masjere. Bukke, nikke, neie, snu oss omkring, danse for deg med hopp og sprett og spring. Ønsker deg av hjertet alle gode ting, og si meg så, hva vil du mere? Gratulere. So for those of you who want to know what I just sang, I put the text in the description below if you'd like to read the exact words that I'm saying, and I'll do my best to translate it for you. So I've really never actually seen it done this way, but again, I didn't grow up in Norway, so my friend tells me that it's Norwegian tradition that the person who has a birthday stands in the middle and everyone stands in a circle around that person and sings the song. So kind of part of the words in the song, it kind of refers to how, where everyone's standing in a circle around this person. So it starts, Hurra for deg som fyller ditt år. Hooray for you who are filling your year. It's something that totally doesn't translate to English, but you would say if it was my birthday today, I would say jeg fyller år I dag. I'm filling a year today. Like basically, it's your birthday. You become a year older today. So hurra for deg som fyller ditt år. Ja, deg vil vi gratulere. Yes, you we want to congratulate. Alle I ring omkring deg vi står. Everyone in circle around you we stand. And see now we want to march. Og se når vi vil marsjere. And see now either we will march or we want to march. Vil can be either will or want. So see now we want to march. Bukke, nikke, neie is, bukke is to bow, nikke is to nod, and neie is curtsy. Snu oss omkring is turn around. Danse for deg, dance for you. Med hopp og sprett og spring, with hop and bounce and spring. We're dancing for you with hop and bounce and spring. We're dancing around for you. Ønsker deg av hjertet alle gode ting. Wish you from the heart all good things. Og si meg så, hva vil du mere? And tell me then, what more do you want? GRATULERE, congratulations. Gratulerer in Norwegian is congratulations. So when someone has a birthday, we say gratulerer med dagen, which is congratulations with the day. Dagen is the day, en dag, a day. Which is something that you can say to people not only on their birthday, but if there's something else that's being celebrated, like on May 17th, the Norwegian 4th of July, everybody says to everyone else, gratulerer med dagen, congratulations with the day. You can also say to someone on their anniversary, or, you know, basically if there's something to celebrate, something to congratulate them with, you say, gratulerer med dagen, congratulations with the day, and especially on someone's birthday. There's also another verse, which I have never heard before. So I'm gonna leave it out. I'm sorry. If you all really want to hear the second verse, then post some comments and maybe I'll put it in the next video. But I've never ever heard it sung. Usually people just sing the first verse, so I think that's enough for now. And so, in conclusion, I will give you this lesson's bonus word. This week we have a bonus word, which is speed bump. In Norwegian, speed bump is fartsdump. Fart in Norwegian is speed, and dump is bump. Actually, I think dump is actually kind of more hump, at least I feel it is, and hump is more bump. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, there you have it. Fartsdump, speed bump.